That first episode was pretty fun. I really am enjoying this group of people. What stood out to you from the first episode?
I think the thing that stood out the most is the way Jay-Z played his ace forehand.
Yeah.
Where he raised Digital Dan on the turn with just a pair of fours. I think the board was 8-8-4 on the flop, and he called. But he turned his one pair hand into a bluff on the turn. Digital Dan, of course, held on with his overpair. But that is a move we really haven't seen these players do very much. It's really interesting and intriguing to me.
It didn't work out. Maybe if he bombed the river, it would have.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it not working out is going to slow him down or if he's going to keep playing like that.
We might just see a lot more cool plays from the Jay-Z man. Is that what they call him?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
But not too much.
Another exciting episode of Poker Time kicking off right now, Grant.
I have enjoyed this group so far. I thought episode 1 was very fun.
Yeah, Jay-Z made some cool moves, a lot of interesting hands, a lot of interesting spots. Let's see if this...
Jay-Z does limp a lot. We've noticed that so far. Because he knows Baptiste is going to have to get in with the 1-pip worse hand, obviously.
Baptiste does not raise the Jack-10, just limps behind. A little surprising. Action Aaron cannot turn down the 9-6 offsuit for only the one limp, the one
Of course,
blind.
you can't.
Digital Dan forced to call.
He's got a nice stack there, Dan does, after that slightly big hand against Jay-Z where he held on with 2 queens on the turn, facing a raise.
Got a lot of people in this hand, Grant.
We have a lot of people. I'm not going to name them all.
Everyone but Wonka.
So let's name the one who's too much of a wuss to play.
There you go. Nicely said. Jay-Z with top pair, fires. That's probably just going to end this hand unless Digital Dan decides not to fold. Digital Dan probably should call once. With
diamonds would be good.
2 backdoors.
4s, aces, diamonds, 5s,
and 3s. It's pretty great. Also, a lot of times Jay-Z might give up on the turn. He misses. Also, a club could be good for Dan.
Dan could now try to rep the ace, although it's hard to do that unless you have the ace of clubs in your hand, ace X of clubs.
Yeah.
Jay-Z does not like that card nonetheless.
You could have ace 3 of hearts or something.
4-5 got there.
Yep. Oh, that's another way to win.
I don't know if he'll get paid, though.
I don't know. Remember how you were saying it was hard for Jay-Z to, for Dan to have an ace in his hand? Jay-Z bets it.
That I don't know about.
That's a surprising bet. He's chopping with queens. Is he trying to fold out a queen, perhaps?
Maybe that's the only reason I could see for betting is to try to fold out a chop. I mean, a bunch of club draws missed, which you could bluff catch against instead.
I think that's better. You're only, I mean, it's only 40 to call. Dan's never going to fold a queen for $40. I can't imagine. But Dan is not even considering that. He's just thinking about, you know,
the mirage.
The effing mirage. That's right.
What's the mirage?
It's an illusion. A quick fold for Jay-Z, and not a surprise.
That was a weirdly played hand by Jay-Z on the river there. I don't know. It feels like a misstep a little bit.
A small misstep. He should probably be check calling there rather than betting himself.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Dan decides to hero because the clubs missed. We would have felt...
With what, 2 9s or something?
Oh, you know, what was the board?
It's your job to know, Jonathan. I'm
It's
not gonna
gone now. It used to be there, now it's gone. What do you want from me? It was a deuce. It was a deuce. If Dan had a deuce in his hand, maybe he would hero with a deuce.
I doubt it.
I mean, I doubt it too, but I'm trying to come up with things. I guess 2 9s, 2 7s, 2 6s. Those are possible.
Although he probably wouldn't have
clubs.
called the flop. Jay-Z bet into 5 people.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Bryce is going to limp. He likes limping. Matt's going to raise with 4-3 off. We have not seen Matt do anything like this yet.
Matt has played very few hands up till now, and I think he just can't take it no more. So here we go.
Yeah, well said.
Thanks.
Bryce is, of course, calling.
Bryce
no,
folds.
what?
Bryce folds a reasonable hand to call with.
Well, I think that is a reputation fold.
Yeah.
Because Matt has not gotten out of line at all yet. Bryce doesn't know what this guy's doing. Still, Queen 8 suited, once you're in there, you are fine against most hands.
Yeah, I don't know if you should be in there, but once you are, seems like you'd throw the extra $20 in there. But you're out of position. It's true. Bryce has played basically no hands at all. It can't be that bad.
You mean Matt, of course.
Of course I do. Everyone knows what I mean. Come on. Baptiste somehow reluctantly folding the 10-9 off there.
Aaron folds the ace-3. Who is this?
Aaron is figuring it out right in front of our eyes. Matt wants to play. And the Terminator certainly is going to play. Wonka's forced to check, I think. And we're going to see a flop 4 ways.
All right. No. All hearts.
Matt with the best flop, although Wonka has the best
They call
hand.
that the nut flush draw. Because it's the best flush draw.
It is the nut flush draw, I guess, in some weird ways. That would be It's never used that way. That's for sure. In parlance,
Maybe because everybody does it wrong.
that's possible.
Like, if you think you have the best flush draw when you have the 8.
Hey, we're talking about Terminator called the $25 bet with the 7-4.
Okay.
We need to talk about that. Wonka folded top pair best kicker, second best kicker there. And oh my gosh, Terminator picks up outs. Although, yeah, no, real outs. And look how quickly he calls.
He has a plan, I guess.
I don't know, man. I think
Matt
the plan is
picked
to hit
up
a
an
heart.
open-ender, though.
There's the heart. Matt's I'm just going to go check a lot, right? No, it's
Is this a
not.
bluff?
No, it's not a bluff. This
What?
is value.
How is it value?
How could it be a bluff? Why would he call twice and then bluff the river when he has showdown value?
I
I
don't know.
don't think it's a bluff. How he's going to try and fold out a better flush? Come on.
That was a strangely played hand.
Terminator. I don't know about that one, bro. That was odd.
Oh, God.
That was like Terminator 4,
Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, that was probably the worst of them. Genesis was better than people say.
I don't think I saw that one.
You don't need to see it. I'll just tell you, but there was some good stuff in it. Especially if you saw the original Terminator, they do some cool references and callbacks to it.
Somebody gets smashed by a giant machine.
All right.
No, actually, no one gets smashed by a giant machine. Grant, but that does of course happen at the end of the first Terminator. Sorry for the spoilers.
1984. What's wrong with Aaron? He's not playing every hand.
You know, the flu is going around.
I guess.
No one's got anything yet, but Wonk on the button is going to be wider than normal, but not
This wide, probably not. He's just not willing to put chips in with bad hands. We've seen him fold getting good pot odds with hands like ace-6 offsuit because he just wants to make sure he puts himself in good spots only.
Yeah, Baptiste is going to raise. I got to think that's going to
This will be the end of it, I assume, yeah.
Yeah, he shows the ace-10. He showed it so fast, it's almost like
an
Jay-Z
all-in got
moved in
called.
and he insta-called.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I call.
I have ace-10.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
When he wants to check it
We're like
down.
13 blinds deep here, right? It's a tournament?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Someday we will have a tournament on Poker Time, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a sit and go.
Yeah.
We think that's going to happen in the near-ish future. That could mean in the next month or two. Something
It could
like
mean
that.
anything when we say it.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what we're doing, but we're excited about the possibility of doing a bigger buy-in sit and go.
Yeah. Bryce gonna limp the ducks.
Matt gonna limp the 7-5 suited.
That's called the ducks.
Hey, Randy's gonna raise it up.
He's got a real hand.
Yep,
Makes it 25.
get some value.
Slightly small raise.
but okay.
Just like poke the bear.
Baptiste thinking about it with the Queen-6 suited. No, he's maybe off tilt.
I did not.
Aaron has gotten pretty bad at showing his cards to the RFID reader.
Yeah, it's true. As the night goes on, I think
Yeah.
it gets a little worse. Hopefully, one of the technicians will point it out to him.
No, it's weird.
Good technicians.
I love having so many. I love having so many technicians. Like,
one of the multiple technicians. Anyway, nice flap here for the Terminator. Not too
Yeah.
much else for anyone.
would
Matt,
like to have a heart in his hand, but
Yeah,
it's
Matt-
still okay.
Matt has, of course, bottom pair with the back door.
I think
flush.
Terminator might just win this one with
I
the
would
bet
think
on the
so.
flop.
Yeah, $70. He bet almost full size.
Yeah, that's
of
gonna
the
do
pot.
it.
And he's like, "Give me that pot.
Breathe on it.
Give it to me."
I had king high only.
What do you think about Terminator 3, the one with the Terminatrix?
Oh yeah, that one. I barely remember it. I thought
Oh.
it was kind of bad.
I liked it. Claire Danes was in it.
So, what's your point?
She was good, man. They had some cool stuff in that. And of course, Judgment Day
Put the
happened.
P in the Baptiste.
It's kind of fun. Nuclear war.
You love nuclear war, huh? You're pro nuclear war. That's the position you're taking.
You know, when it's good for the story.
Barbara?
All right. Even Terminator, I don't think is going to play the.
I don't
Queen
think he's
3 off.
gonna, but he surprised me
Yeah.
before.
Many
Wonka's
times.
he's found one of the hands he's willing to play.
For sure.
Awesome.
Gonna make it 30. It looks like.
35. He likes to size it up, and I like that strategy against these guys.
Michelle Jay-Z was thinking about it from the get-go, and he does make the call.
Baptiste is obviously going to at least call here. Probably just call.
Yep. Jay-Z with 4.1K in front of him. Baptiste with 2.2. This is an easy call to set mine just against Jay-Z, let alone the Wonka or anyone else who might be.
The Wonka?
That's
We're
what
calling
I'm
him the Wonka
The
now?
Wonka. I'm just going to call him the in front of most people's names. The action Aaron
The
with
Bryce
call.
is going to call with the 5 deuce off.
Well, he's getting good odds.
That hurts Baptiste.
I mean, whether he calls or not, it hurts Baptiste. It's just the dead 5 hurts Baptiste. Isn't really Bryce's action.
Wrong?
What hurts is the 5 is gone.
Jay-Z with the gutter. And, that's it because we can't see the board. There it is.
Action Aaron has top.
There's only 1 5 left, though, for Jay-Z to even make the nuts. So wouldn't be too optimistic about that. That said, he's probably going to check through a lot.
Yeah, I think Baptiste might bet for protection here.
Not crazy.
No.
There's very few good cards for him, and he might have the best hand.
Yeah, this is not going to get through action Aaron. The question is Aaron going to raise?
That is the question. Not a very wet board. Looks like he is going to
Yeah,
put
that
in
looks
raise,
like a
right?
pretty
Big one.
beefy.
Meaty.
It's a
chunky.
hungry man raise.
Yeah, there's potatoes with that raise. Comes for free. Potatoes.
I think it's probably going to get through.
Yeah, I mean, what's Baptiste going to do here? I mean, what are you even supposed to put action Aaron on except complete air? That
Well,
would raise
that's
him.
really possible, though. It's action Aaron. The problem is we block 4-5. We block all the significant draws on this board by having 2 5s.
Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is Aaron just raised into the whole world, which he's probably a little bit less likely to do.
Right, but traditionally on this board, the only hands that people would raise would be sets, which is what Baptiste is thinking about right now.
Yep. Aaron, though, can have weird 2-pair hands, unlike a lot of
He
people.
can have deuce 3.
He can have jack
deuce, jack 3. That's a problem against Aaron is that he's certainly capable of having jack deuce, jack 3 suited. Certainly, maybe sometimes offsuit, depending on how far into the margaritas he's gotten. You know.
Yeah. This is a really sizable raise, and look at this. I mean, we were talking before about Aaron raising Randy. This is obviously a better hand than what he had against Randy, but still it's just one pair, and often you can't really get action from worse hands, but look at this. His reputation just earns him the call.
I absolutely understand what Batiste's thinking is here. It's you don't have that much value on this.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be raising a 1-pair hand, but it turns out Aaron is.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate for Baptiste because he's thinking along more traditional raising lines than Aaron is putting into practice here.
Here comes another meaty bet, it looks like. It's
450.
450?
Now, since Baptiste called the flop, I gotta imagine he's going to call the turn. He called the flop because he didn't believe Aaron would raise a 1-pair hand. It's like, all right, you got a set, so be it. I'm gonna pay you off if you have a set. He doesn't expect Aaron to have ace-jack here or king-jack or anything like that.
I mean, Aaron is setting up a shove on the river. He's got 700 left. He's already got half pot before Baptiste even makes this call.
Baptiste could just move in here because of that, if he believes action Aaron has a draw or just random 2 cards.
The thing is, as you said, it's hard for Aaron to have a draw. Baptiste blocks the major draws.
Yes.
Ace-4 and 4-6 are the only draws he doesn't block.
Right, but I mean, that doesn't mean there aren't 4-5s out there just because he blocks it. There are
It's
still.
true. That's a fair point. But it's much less likely. But again, what else are you even supposed to put this guy on?
This is a very interesting hand and a weird, tough spot for Baptiste. Once he decides it's hero time on the flop, this is commendable to follow through with his thought process on the flop.
The thing is, you have to know Aaron's shoving a lot of rivers.
Yeah, and I think the plan is probably to call most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a card that I would think if Aaron shoves, he does.
He moves in. Now, this is...
Look at the face of Baptiste.
Now,
he calls right
he
away.
called quickly. He had a plan, and he stuck to it.
Yep. I give him credit for not. A lot of times you see players in this spot not know what to do on the river. Baptiste completely knew what he was doing. He was incorrect, but
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that he had the plan and he followed through on it for sure.
And that would have been an incredible line and an incredible hand had he been right. And I think a lot of the time, not a lot of the time necessarily, but some of the time, Baptiste is going to be right there.
Oh yeah, I mean I hope so. That said, I don't know if this is a profitable call down for Baptiste.
Well,
I would question it.
The reason to not do it, we said all the reasons to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like the thin range on the flop and Aaron being a live player. The reason not to is a game theory reason, which is we can find better hands than 2 5s to decide to hero with there. We don't have to choose one of the worst hands that blocks the draws to be our hero hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. I mean, the things Aaron can have, we don't block. The value, we don't block. And we do block the bluffs, the obvious bluffs.
Yeah.
So that's really problematic. And it's one of the worst hands we're ever going to show up with as a bluff catcher, which is another reason just to dump it.
Yeah,
Pretty
those
early
are
on.
the good reasons to dump it. The good reasons to call is that Aaron is a guy who plays a ton of hands.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of action in all the time. It's not a board you're expecting a raise except from sets.
Yeah.
What can you have, buddy? Like, I get it. I really get the thought
No.
process, and I've done stuff like that
Yeah,
before
sure.
plenty of times.
We all have. We all have. And, you know, when he's right, it's incredible.
And it's a fascinating hand, and I do love that Baptiste just snapped the river because he had a plan, he followed through. It's not like if Aaron picked up a 1-pair 9 on the river, he was going to shove then.
Right? It didn't change anything.
Yeah.
And he knew that. And I appreciate that, too.
Meanwhile, Randy's trying to...
Like, if an ace comes on the river, it's going to be different. But he should probably fold.
Yeah.
Because he can't beat ace 4 or 4-5.
Right, then things come in for sure.
Or ace 5, for that matter.
Most of the time the non-believers get there, though.
No, I had a small pair.
Looks like we're going to get a blind versus blind action here. I can't imagine this hand could be as fun as the last one,
I don't
Jonathan.
know. Both guys flop a draw.
There are many times
The ace deuce is not a great draw on this board,
Turn over ace king.
but I understand the call.
Oh, yeah. He's got potentially the best hand. Well, now he doesn't have
I'm
the
pretty
best
sure
hand.
Dan's going to have trouble getting action here.
I think you're probably right. Bryce checks, and I can't imagine he's going to call.
Might as well
Dan
just check,
bets-
Dan.
Yep. Insta-fold for Bryce. Not a great run out. You know, that's such a good card, too, when the 7 comes off. I think Dan probably should be betting that on the turn. Like, a 6 is going to feel forced to call.
Yeah.
And, Bryce can have 6s.
Bryce can have some 1-pair hands, some 2-pair hands on the turn there that
Absolutely.
he's forced to call with.
He can also have worse flushes.
Absolutely.
So I think Dan may have missed some value there.
He may have, although I don't think he actually did
No.
in practice.
No, not
Just in
actual
theory.
Yeah.
Theory value.
That's all we ever talk about is theory value, not actual value.
And that's the only value we bring to society. Also,
Looks like Randy with the
blind raise.
blind raise. I hope so anyway, since it's the 9-4 off, but it is a blind raise.
Why do you
not
hope so?
12.
I hope he did it on purpose.
You know, I want him to have some standards.
Why?
Because he's a human in the world, man.
That's just a horrible, stupid response.
You're a horrible, stupid response.
That's what my mom says.
I know. I'm sorry for bringing it up. And there goes the 9-4, as it has to.
And Digital Dan had 9-4 also. Those guys are friends because of that.
Yep.
Me after that.
Matt is calling, of course, with the 8-6 suited. I say, of course, but, you know, sure, why not? He
But
hasn't
he's
played very many
3-bet
hands.
with
Yeah.
ace-10, so it's a pretty loose call. And,
Yep.
wow.
It wasn't really a 3-bet in the same way.
This is
though.
kind of crappy for Baptiste. He just made that huge hero play against Aaron, and now here he is.
Yep.
Matt flops trip 8s. He flops an ace. It's a 3-bet pot. He's not going to put Matt on an 8 too often because Matt hasn't been mixing it up too much, and
Agreed.
he called a 3-bet.
The good news for Baptiste is I don't think Baptiste is going to put too many chips in this pot if Matt doesn't fast play his hand. Baptiste, in fact, we
I
can't.
agree.
It does check through. I'd expect it just to go bet and call.
Right, because Matt's range traditionally is something like 9s through jacks and ace queen, ace king, ace jack hands.
By the way, Matt checks it a second time.
And he's going to just call here.
Wow.
That in practice is working great. I think Baptiste would have folded to a check raise. And we are heads up to the river, even though the graphics are lying to you.
And there's the king of hearts.
Well, that makes all the aces chops except for ace 8 and ace king.
And now Matt decides to bet. I don't see how Baptiste can fold.
I don't think
because of
Baptiste
the
can
chopping.
fold. I don't
Specifically
think
because of the
And he only
chop.
bets 100 into 340, and Baptiste quickly calls.
Yep. And once again, look at he's just
He's running bad. He's
cursing his rotten luck. That's
yeah,
what he's doing.
his hero play didn't work, and he's running bad.
Oh, look, he's holding a card funeral, too. He refuses to actually throw the... he still hasn't...
Oh, he hasn't called
yet.
He hasn't called. That's what it is.
We thought he was upset about seeing the hand tabled.
You either have an 8 or
Bryce did not bet 100, by the way. That is a lie. It's Matt.
And it's probably not 100. We don't know if it's 100.
It is 100. I
It
saw
is?
I saw
Okay.
the chip.
Baptiste just said you either have an 8 or we're chopping, and he makes a great fold.
That is an incredibly good fold.
That is a great...
Especially when
great
you've
fold.
just lost a couple pots in a row, including a very big one. It's really hard to make a fold like that when you're getting a good price in a
Agreed.
spot like that.
Agreed. It's so easy to make the call. And
That's discipline
lose.
right there from Baptiste. That's some nice discipline.
I mean, it makes sense. Baptiste was the pre-flop raiser. He's the one who 3-bet. He's the guy who's supposed to be able to have ace-king. Why is Matt suddenly betting into him?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But still, to actually make the fold in practice, completely different than doing it in theory.
maybe Baptiste brings actual in practice value to the world, unlike us. We
Well,
just bring the
you know-
theory value.
Someone has to.
Yeah.
That is not a limp from Jay-Z.
It's
That's
a raise with ace 5 off.
Huh.
That's
Okay.
a loose play.
Baptiste is going to
He's
make
going to
the
3-bet. He's not
Perfect.
deterred by 3-betting ace 10 last time and losing a big pot. And now he's getting called by Action Aaron with ace 7. I don't think an ace is going to come. I'm going to bet on it.
Okay, who are you gonna bet with?
I booked it with Nitrogen Sports Poker Room.
Oh, well, they're gonna be very happy to
Yeah.
know that you did that because they're gonna win a lot of your money right now.
Oh, is an ace coming?
Here it comes,
What are the
bro.
odds? What am I getting?
You're getting
I
1 to 1.
I didn't even check. I should have
1
checked
to
before.
1. It's even money. And
I win.
Well, it's a push.
What? Batiste still has the best hand, but
He is gonna fire. And
he's
it looks
going to
like
fire. It's probably going to work.
He's finally gonna win a pot, I think. Have to believe. that
Yep,
will
there
do
you
it.
go. Just keep on trucking.
But Baptiste has that cold, awful feeling in this.
I've had that feeling.
Trachea right about now.
And it's different in a cash game and in a tournament. I mean, if it's a huge deal tournament, then it is maybe the worst possible feeling.
Yeah.
But a normal size, medium, whatever tournament versus a cash game, it feels a little bit worse in a cash game because you're like, I got to go back and get after that money again. There's no end to this thing. In a
Right.
tournament, you're like, maybe it'll just end soon. I can go home and drink a beer.
I mean, yeah, well, that's one of the things I love about
Yeah.
tournaments is there's a clear beginning and ending. That is never true in cash, and so you never really know when you're supposed to get up unless you have, stop loss stuff or the table gets bad and you decide you're not going to.
Oh, look at
that
this.
way. Here's Action Aaron,
He's got a big hand.
and he puts in a raise with the kings. Not a huge surprise. Here's Matt with
Whoa.
the Rockets. He's just going to flat.
He just flats. It's Action Aaron. You got a 3-bet.
Wow. Wonka with the 10-9 suited. This is an incredible spot. He can crack a big hand here if he flops well.
Yeah, so I think he's just going to flat, see a flop, and hope for the best here.
That would certainly be the standard play. I wonder what he's thinking about.
He's definitely not thinking about folding. So
Of course not. So it's got to be a raise.
He's going to raise.
Oh, he does.
He picked the wrong time to
Oh,
squeeze. He
Wonka.
squeezes into aces and kings.
He makes 110. You could have put 15 in and seen the flop.
He's chasing that
In a
chocolate
beautiful
river.
spot.
He's chasing the chocolate river money, you know? Sometimes you
mean,
make mistakes when you chase the chocolate
You
river
got to
money.
be highly speculative in these spots. Aaron is thrilled. He's certainly going to put in a big re-raise here, I got to believe. And Matt is just sitting there. No one can ever think Matt has aces. He flatted.
Well, he's going to get 110 extra out of Wonka by flatting, although I think I would have preferred a 3-bet. Action Aaron is a guy who's unlikely to fold after he puts chips in pre-flop. I'd like to start building a pot right now.
I agree. Matt may not know that, though. He's new to the game.
That's true.
But I do agree with you. There's the re-raise.
Well, Matt is just so happy right now.
Let's
How
see.
happy are you when somebody 4-bets you when you have aces?
And Matt has a clear shove right here. He's got 1.1 in front of him. The
Yeah.
bet's been to 325. You just hope Action Aaron has it or Nick has it. And if not, you still get to pick up the $475 pot. That's pretty good.
It looks like he's going to effectively shove if he doesn't shove.
Yeah. He announced an amount. We can't really hear it.
900,
yeah,
so he's effectively shoved.
yeah,
he's
got
left himself.
one-
Good job, Wonka.
Wonka makes a
on the wrong spot.
really clear pro level fold
And
there.
Aaron goes all in, of course. Matt calls.
And that's sort of a sledgehammer out of nowhere when the guy just flats your raise and then turns out to have aces.
Feels more like jacks or tens than aces, you know?
Yeah, ace king even.
Well,
Anything really.
the spades are covered by Matt. It's going to
Yeah.
be tough for Action Aaron to pull this one off.
You got the 2 outs and that is it. And straight for Matt.
Wow.
It wouldn't have mattered how he played it. He would have gotten this money, but he gets a slightly bigger pot because that 110 of Wonka's is in there. And Randy put in 15. too.
Aaron runs bad big pair versus big pair. Of
Yeah.
course, in our first session, he lost when he had kings and Baptiste had queens on an 8-high board, and a queen turned.
They got it all in on the flop. It was the biggest pot. I think it may still be the biggest pot in Poker Time history. And, yeah, queen came immediately on the turn after they got it all in.
Now, I don't know if this is tilt, but Aaron is 3-betting 75 here.
Yeah.
We don't know what he has.
Bryce with 10's certainly not going to fold.
calls.
That's a pretty good candidate to 4-bet, I think, right after Aaron just lost that pot.
Matt folds the ace-jack. Terminator, of course, calls the 8-6 suited.
And we don't know what Action Aaron has right now.
Bryce has the other two hands in deep trouble.
Yes. Yes, he does. Although,
That's a horrible flop for Bryce.
Terminator loving that flop. I'm just kidding. He's just got 2 back doors. No one really loves this flop except maybe
Aaron's
Action
not
Aaron.
even in it. That's the graphic is a lie.
Oh, man. So Bryce probably was the 3-better.
Bryce is betting, huh?
Bryce was the 3-better.
Yeah, Bryce
Baptiste
was-
open, Bryce 3-bet.
Yeah,
Bryce is going to win this pot.
he is. Although this is a horrible flop for him.
He's just hoping everyone folds. Look
Look at this
Terminator.
Terminator. Ooh, he really
Oh.
wanted to do a Terminator type move there.
Maybe he picked up something on Bryce. It feels like he's picking up something. And Bryce shows the 10s. What is he showing there when he shows the 10s, do you think? Is he saying, I got it, or he's saying, I didn't have it?
I think he's saying that was a bad flop for me. I'm glad I got it through.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
That's 6 sign.
'Cause
Terminator was really staring him down there for a second.
It's not exactly a
Not a Randy.
profitable time to bluff unless you're trying to bluff jacks, right? Like you're just hoping to protect when you
Yeah,
get
you're
there.
not going to fold out a queen right,
Right.
away. We know that. But these guys are not folding a queen on the flop.
Right.
So it's just like, whew, I'm glad that worked out. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Action Aaron. Going to play this hand for real.
Yeah, this time we know for sure he has cards.
It's a limp of some sort. Digital Dan has not been getting too digitally involved, just analogically involved.
I don't know what that means.
Of course you do. I mean, think about it.
I refuse.
Yeah, well, that's you doing your life, okay?
I'm not gonna show you.
Isn't it always me doing my life when I'm doing stuff?
Don't get all flash dance on me with those
Flash
words.
dance?
Yeah, that's my new thing.
What are you talking about?
I say that now.
Action Aaron has flopped a flush draw here, and
the over.
I think Terminator's going to bet a couple times. He is the pre-flop aggressor.
Well, this is one of those things where if Action Aaron doesn't improve, Terminator could take it down if Aaron never puts in an aggressive action himself. Straight draw as well. Actually, double gutted straight draw for Action Aaron.
Yeah, I don't see him folding yet. Terminator shuts it down.
And there it
Gets
is. This is not going
He's
to
not
get
going
paid
to get
off.
action from the nut low.
That is correct.
There's a nice turn card there for Aaron.
That was
nice,
a beautiful turn
nice
card.
flop as well, obviously.
Yep. Nice to get there on the river, too. If he misses the river, maybe he's going to... I guess he'll probably take a stab at it when
A lot of the time he will.
Checks back, yeah. Makes sense.
Going to be one boring show.
They're saying it's going to be a boring show, but this is not boring at all.
Yeah, I think that might have been in reference to some comment somebody made about, like, if something happened, I don't know.
I'll be the next one.
It's
Some YouTube comment, you
They're
mean?
in theory land.
Well, they should know what happens. when
Thought
they're-
experiment.
Invite that guy back.
What if Bryce had cards?
He does have cards.
Oh, well, I guess we get to see it play out. He
It
folds.
turned over right as you said it. Digital Dan, you can't play it.
Oh,
Come
Digital
on, it's
Dan's-
not suited.
He's
Digital.
just bored.
You're so tight, Digital Dan. What are you doing? This is not you.
He's just bored, I guess.
Matt calls
Oh my
again with
goodness.
aces.
And then he quickly checks his... Oh, no, he turns his phone off.
And
That's
look at
more-
that. And Randy puts in the 3-bet. Just
Randy obliges.
amazing.
Baptiste might decide to 4-bet here because Randy can 3-bet so wide, but he says blocker no. Luckily, somebody distracted him.
Wow.
Tell everybody.
Wow, wow, wow. How does Matt always get in these perfect situations with aces? This is incredible. Digital Dan's going to have to throw it away. He's out of position. Nope. I guess he feels like Randy just 3-bets all the time.
All right, so does Matt 4-bet or
Yes.
does he just call?
You have to 4-bet here.
I think so.
have to.
I don't think he's going to get action. No, Terminator might call.
Terminator's going to give him
I don't know. It's
action.
320. Oh, no, it's,
Whoa.
no, not quite that much, is it?
No, it's
240.
yeah, it's
and
an
he
easy
gets
go.
quickly called.
Insta call. Great spot here for Matt. Although they are deep enough, and Terminator does have the kind of hand that cracks aces.
And Dan just kind of threw away $75 there because he was bored, I think.
Yeah. But the big problem for Terminator is it's only like 5-to-1 stack to pot ratio.
He flops middle pair there.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fold on the flop. I'll tell you what.
How much? Oh, Matt
Oh,
checks. Matt is
tricky.
Matt is cagey with the aces, isn't he?
Really cagey. Will Terminator is going to fire. You have to believe you have the best hand here. It's not crazy.
You don't have to believe that.
Okay, you absolutely don't. But
Matt
it's
could have
reasonable.
10s, 9s.
It's reasonable to think you have the best hand.
Yeah,
a
you
fair
put
amount.
Matt on ace king when he checks usually.
Yeah, the way he played it, and here comes the big raise. I gotta believe that's gonna end it.
I don't know if I like the raise. I might have liked to let Randy string himself along here. Because Randy doesn't have to have middle pair when he bets there. He could have any 2 cards.
This is the problem with playing out of position. It's just so much harder to make sure you get value. You know, you don't want to give Randy free cards later if you just call now because there's 2 diamonds on the board and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Matt won a lot more in that pot than most people would have by playing the aces that way.
I mean, he ended up winning several $100s off the Terminator.
$555 total he won there.
That's pretty great considering they just saw a flop only heads up against,
And he didn't have
6
to.
high.
You have to fade any draws or any 2 pairs coming in or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, some percentage of the time, as we know, the Terminator will improve and win the hand. Just didn't happen that time.
Didn't happen.
No chances to even do that because of the big check raise. That was a huge check raise.
You got to be afraid when Matt flats. I guess that's the law of the land.
So
now.
when he 3-bets, we just don't have to worry about it at
no,
all.
we
right?
can
He
just
can't have
4-bet.
aces.
4-bet with impunity.
Yeah.
Now we don't know for sure that he's not balanced in some way. He might 3-bet aces sometimes.
Well, but so far he's had aces twice and has just called both times.
Great
so-
sample size.
I mean,
2.
2 for 2. That's more than most people might do in a month.
Since when?
It might be.
Yeah.
And we have a new player here, by the way.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned that yet because Jay-Z picked up. This is Tim. He hasn't played yet. And he's going to choose 10 deuce suited.
He's going to put in a 3-bet right away.
He just sat down.
He is suited for this game is what he is, not just suited in the hand. But
Yeah. This guy's ready to play.
Bryce insta-calls with the pocket 5s. Terminator's never folding. I think Wonka's kind of forced to call here, too.
No, that one. When me and Sushi James
Yep.
open to 85.
There's some serious stack-to-pot issues for Wonka, but what the heck?
I mean,
It's
we're
only
getting
65
good
more.
pot odds at least.
Insane pot odds, and he's closing the action. What are you going to do?
Nobody knows.
You're going to miss and give up.
I like that we got a new player, and he immediately showed that he belongs in the game by 3-betting the 10 deuce suited.
No question.
It's the actual Doyle, the 10 deuce of spades specifically. So
Is
maybe
it?
he's doing it out of respect. Yeah. Doyle Brunson won the main event 2 years in a row with the 10 deuce of spades
It was
both
spades
times.
both times. I did not know that. Look at Look at Bryce just call that 125 like it's the most easy thing in the world. 2 guys behind him.
Well,
The deuces versus,
I guess maybe he's played with Tim before. I'm not sure.
Maybe he has.
I'm not sure. Ooh, Tim gets there. This is a pretty cool hand so far. I wonder if Tim's gonna go for value on the river. Just check it back. Ooh, Bryce looks like he's gonna.
Bryce
bet.
is going to try and bluff out some of the slightly better hands, I guess.
It's maybe a bit of a merge. Maybe sometimes you can get eights to fold, and sometimes you can get ace king to call. I don't know.
How is Ace King going to call?
I don't
it was
know.
Queen Queen 3 rainbow on the flop.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that Tim gets to win the hand with the Doyle and prove that you have to play 10 deuce.
I wonder if 8s would have folded. That's the question. Probably not. If you call with 10 deuce that quickly, he's probably going to call with 8.
It's emotionally different when you
Yeah.
are bluffing with 10 deuce and you hit the 10 on the turn, then you feel good.
Yeah.
Then when you have 8s and you're like, oh, I got called, this is crappy. So it might change, although based on the range it shouldn't, but that's not really how it works.
I will say Tim called so quickly, though, I think he would have found a call.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
How about that? He also gets to show the 10 deuce and show everyone the very first hand he played. He 3-bet with 10 deuce.
He should wait for a good hand before he 3-bets again, I think.
I agree. Let's see if he does, though. I would guess that's not going to happen. That probably, since he seems to be willing to mix it up, that's just who he is. You know, it's in his blood.
We're making a lot of assumptions based on one hand.
That's what you got to do when you play poker.
Yep. Baptiste is opening the king-queen. Bryce has called with the ace-4.
Digital Dan says, not with this 9-5 suited.
This is when a lesser commentator would say fair fight, but I'm not about that life.
No, that's not you. Not anymore.
We've got middle pair, top kicker against top pair,
Baptiste
second
just checks
kicker.
it right back.
Ooh,
Wow.
and Baptiste is going to get some action. Is that 100 into
Yes.
45?
Yes.
What just happened?
That should be huge alarm bells for Bryce.
My voice went up 5 octaves from
That
that
should
play.
be massive alarm bells. Baptiste is never going to call with a flush draw there for 100. So Bryce needs to know that Baptiste has a good hand now. He's got a 4 beat, and he's probably not folding on the river. Baptiste likes to make big calls.
Clubs came in.
Good check by Bryce.
Baptiste really hopes Bryce has clubs now.
Oh, yeah.
Because Baptiste has the second nuts.
And effectively the nuts.
I know that you probably know.
I don't see how Bryce can
Bryce can't
consider
call
finding
here.
a call here. I know he's getting the cheek.
Oh, what just
I
happened?
didn't expect that.
And to see the face Bryce just made, he's like, "Oh, I got that one really wrong."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he definitely had the big one that time. I
I
guess
don't-
from Bryce's point of view, he's just thinking like, well, how can you bet the river when
When the club comes in,
the club comes, you check the flop, and then you call the turn with
you
the
can't
queen.
really, because Baptiste can't really have a flush. He called a 2x pot bet on the turn on a paired board.
Right, and Bryce can have a queen and play it just like this.
Yeah.
So what can Baptiste be betting? Of course, that's part of the problem. Bryce can have a queen and play it just like this. And
Yeah.
Baptiste, I don't think Baptiste would think he's going to fold out a queen from Bryce,
Looks like,
especially after seeing this hand.
yeah, and it's hard to think of bluffs that could get there. And Randy has
Yeah.
blind raised.
Well, not live.
Wonka with
Jack 10. No, not even Jack 10.
Wonka with 2 4s.
He's just going to
He's
call.
just gonna call. Usually you see
Surprising.
him raise in spots like that.
Yeah.
Tim folded the queen jack. I guess
Weird.
he's aware of his reputation now.
Yeah, he's thinking now it's not good enough to 3-bet with that.
Yeah,
or
he's like,
even call.
I can't do it. I just got to wait a couple hands before
Yeah.
they forget about that hand.
Probably smart.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of reasonable hands here. Everyone has a reasonable hand. We almost never see that on this show.
It's hard to see. Well,
Tim would have
oopsie.
flopped huge,
Oopsie, Tim.
but nobody really does. I guess Matt has the best flop.
Matt would have called once, I think.
Yeah.
That
Still not a whole lot
has
going
not really
on.
changed much. Bryce has a gut shot and a pair.
I would
Matt's
expect,
going to bet the best hand.
after seeing Bryce call with that ace-4, I would expect him to call here. No, insta-fold. Interesting. And that is it.
Matt is lucky that a couple hands before Tim had to show down the 10 deuce, and I think that is the reason Tim didn't play the queen jack in early position there.
It's unlikely Matt would have lost a huge pot, though, right? He might have called once.
He
and-
got to win instead of lose. This is
Yeah,
nice.
That is true.
I'm walking here.
Nice reference. Do you know what that's a
I
reference
know, I'm
to?
just kidding.
Yeah. Rick and Morty. It actually is.
It may be, but that's in reference to it.
It's from the best episode ever of Rick and
It's
Morty.
from Midnight Cowboy.
But it's also from the best episode ever of Rick and Morty.
Okay. Midnight Cowboy, Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman's not in Rick and Morty. What are you talking about?
You're right. That is true.
Action Aaron's got the sailboats. Bryce is now going to get involved again.
There's that 10 deuce of spades, but
Digital Dan did not learn the lesson that Tim taught him.
which is always play the 10 deuce of spades.
Yeah,
Terminator with the jack deuce calls the raise.
of course.
He can kill somebody with this hand. He has to play it.
He's got the
And
jack.
He flopped best.
He flopped the best hand, and nobody has a draw. Bryce has a gut
A
shot.
queen. There you
There,
go.
okay. I said nobody has a draw, and then the draw that was there came in.
You probably feel a little dumb.
Yeah, I do. I don't think Bryce will be folding. Action Aaron has bluffed with his 2-4s. This is probably not a great card to bluff on.
Bryce is going to... Oh, moves in. I don't know about that against Action Aaron. Action Aaron's going
Actually,
to find to fold.
I kind of like it
Yeah, how come?
because I think not necessarily Aaron, but somebody could have picked up a hand that they can't fold with that queen on
Like
the turn.
what?
Like Queen Jack.
Queen Jack, yeah. Queen Jack is the one hand. That's true. But you're often going to get it all on the river from them anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some bad cards that will chase away your action, but I don't know if we needed to move in there.
He
There were a bunch of people behind him though. It's not a horrible play to move in.
No.
And take the pot.
He is a
down.
vulnerable hand there.
Yeah. And you may also think I only have like $340. He got 100. If he has anything, he's just going to call me, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, Action Hero never has anything.
Oh, how could he have anything?
That's the problem. He just can't have a thing.
I mean, he had kings once.
Yeah. Well, how did that work out?
He didn't have anything. He lost
right.
to a better hand.
Yeah. He lost to a straight.
That's true. He
Yeah.
did.
I know.
Watching yourself fold.
Baptiste. Taking his time, but making the fold.
doesn't
See if
really-
Digital Dan
I'm
is going to...
sorry,
No,
I'm putting
probably.
back.
Oh, he
Oh,
is.
yeah,
I thought he was
he's
gonna
got
fold it.
ace-6 off. Whoever was operating the graphics didn't expect that and
That's
folded
right.
him out.
Assume
Yeah,
the
you didn't get
fold.
to
That
choose, though.
tells you something. Matt now calling
it
with the
comes.
Jack 7 off. So he can have aces or he can have Jack 7 off in these
No,
spots.
the
And
fold.
Wonka's going to 3-bet now. This is going to work out better than the 10-9, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So now they're
Wonka's really hoping Matt didn't flat with aces yet again.
Yeah, he's making that face because he's seen it twice, I think.
No, he's only
he
seen it
didn't.
once.
He only saw it once, that's right.
And, you know,
But it was
he
the same
blocks it.
spot. It was the same spot where he squeezed out of the big blind.
Yeah, the thing is, he squeezed with a 4-bet. This is a 3-bet. But yeah, still, I hear you. Anyway, Terminator, I can't imagine Terminator.
No, he squeezed with a 3-bet last time.
Was it a 3?
Yeah,
allowed
it was.
Oh, okay.
He made it 110. How could it have been a 4-bet?
You're right. You're right.
Probably not.
Aaron 4-bet. And then Matt 5-bet it.
Yeah, that's right.
Incredible. He called and then 5-bet. Basically cold 5-bet. Nearly cold 5-bet. Amazing.
You got all the money. You got all the
And
money.
got all the... Well, you know, when the other guy has kings, it's easy.
Yeah, you get all the money then. That's how you
Pretty
get the money.
much. Pretty much.
Nick, if that was
You
like
wait for those spots.
just a straight
That's
up
what you
squeeze
do.
with, like, napkins,
I mean, when guys have had aces on this show, they've done very, very well. I'll say that. It seems like they often are up against big pairs, and they always seem to hold.
Yeah, or against 6-5, and they get a check raise in on the flop.
Yeah, that's good, too.
I mean, fours. That's like trash for you. So
Matt's laughing it up. Everyone's funny
What
when you're
definitions?
way, way up in the
What?
game.
Yeah,
right?
you're having a great time when you're way up in the game. Terminator's going to limp the button with Queen Deuce off.
Well, at least he's on the button.
I think a raise would have been probably preferable there. Tim's
Well.
going to raise it up. He doesn't understand that Terminator's never going to fold, I think.
I think Tim's heart sunk a little bit when he saw just how quickly the Terminator called. But we'll see. Tim actually does have the best hand somehow.
If you're going to attack a Terminator
Never
button
be
limp,
too
you got to
careful
like
on there.
12 exit.
$60. And it's an interesting flop for both players.
We got an open ender versus gut shot. Tim still has the best hand, but he
Dude,
can't
he
love
gives
the
it right
flop.
back to me.
No, and
He's going to get at least called here.
looks like more than a call is happening.
Yeah,
There's a
and that's going to
raise.
do it, I think.
How can Tim call? He cannot. Feels so good to raise with queen high and just win the pot, doesn't it?
Hi, Tim. This is the Terminator.
now you
You've
just
been
gotta wait
introduced.
2 months.
Yes.
You get 10 deuce.
That.
Yes.
What do you have?
Come with me.
No, they're talking about my head.
No, he's not trying to save
You
Tim.
want to live, Tim. Tim, come.
He's not saying. He's
You're
not saying.
going-
Tim. He's trying to kill Tim.
10
All right, well, wrong guy.
Yeah.
Wrong guy. Someone else is going to say that to Tim, probably.
Action Aaron has blind min raised.
And that can't be a blind call, right?
I don't think so.
Surely Bryce looked
It
at
was
his hand. Okay.
Pretty quick though.
Yeah. Digital down with the real hand, but just calls the blind raise with ace-9 of clubs.
Terminator will not allow it. He makes it 30, which is a bit small for the situation. Wonka will
Wonka.
not allow that. Is he going to call or raise?
It's such a good spot to put in a raise because otherwise everyone's going to call.
Yes, I agree. I
You
think
can knock out
I
everybody.
think he's going to make it 130. That's my guess. What do you
I
got?
think it's going to go a little less than that. Let's see. It is a little less than that.
110? Is that what it is? 105. Okay.
That is going to fold out pretty much everyone. I think it's going to fold out Digital Dan's ace-9 of clubs. even.
Terminator might call.
Yeah, he's probably going to call.
Which, I mean, Wonka would rather get action from the ace-9 of clubs, obviously, than the 7-4 of spades here.
Sure. But I think Wonka's pretty happy to get action from the Terminator being in position against him pretty much always with his range versus ace-queen here, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if Terminator puts in a big 5-bet, maybe not, but... Digital Dan's thinking, he is going to find a call. And Terminator can't call fast enough.
Well, after Digital Dan calls...
Yeah, I'm not saying he shouldn't.
Got a pretty big pot brewing here.
And the Terminator with top pair and the open-ender, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, I think he's a favorite to win this hand at this point.
Oh, for sure. 68%, in fact.
Well, I mean also in practice, not just equity.
Well, yeah.
Wonka's going to bet it.
Well, this is not going to... He's trying to rep an overpair.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say I have kings here,
I think he said 145.
Yes, that's right.
And
Dan will get out of there with the gut shot, I imagine.
it seems it could be a very poor decision to stick around. He does fold.
And Terminator, what's Terminator going to do? He's just going to raise him now or just call? What's he going to do?
Wonka only has 730 behind. It's very reasonable just to put in a raise. I kind of like putting in a raise, actually. Like, there's a lot of bad cards that can come.
Just ship it?
Yeah, or some version, or effectively ship it. Even if you're up against kings or something like that, that's fine. You get 2 cards to go. You're probably about 50%.
He raised to 325.
That's basically shipping it.
It's close enough. I think it's going to work either way. I don't think Wonka can continue at this point.
If you're the Terminator, and you get called, you're just moving in on all turns, I think.
And if you
unless maybe you hit the straight.
I think Wonka's either moving in or folding anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
With his stack size.
I agree. So I like that.
And this time folding.
As well, he should be.
And that fold will be the last action you see
No.
on this episode
No.
of Poker Time.
It
Come back next week.
It goes too fast.
Next week there will be more Poker Time.
Okay.
We will see you then.
Bye.
In the wrong